Okay, so I just thought of something really, really freaky and weird, okay? So I just made a video about micro and macro and being able to see reflections and zooming in and seeing, like, you know, well, you gotta find the sun, right? And you can see little reflections, you see little circles. It looks like you're looking through a microscope, right? And then I talked about stars, and I look at the brightest one and I go cross-eyed and I can actually split it in two and I can actually zoom in. Well, no, not zoom in, like I explode it out. I mean, it's probably the same thing, just from a different perspective, but I can actually explode it out and I see the same thing in like a much larger structure of the same thing that I look at right here with like a reflection off of, I mean, anything, like literally anything that reflects on it. Anyways, so I was thinking more about that whole idea, that whole subject, and I was like, you know, and I've thought this for a while, but I should just say it. I should really just say it because it's really weird, but it's like a funny concept. The fact that I take like a cell body, right? Like I take a cell body and like that's one piece of like a much larger structure. When I think about us like going out into the cosmos and we're like, you know, using like the biggest telescope, and who has the biggest telescope? And we're trying so hard to like find something and go further out and further out. And then it's like you got these like, you know, scientists with the microscopes, and you know, they're like, oh, the most powerful microscope. We're like trying so hard to like get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and we're like trying to find like how far down can we go, you know what I mean? Like taking time, and you got like this minute to, you know, you got 60 seconds, and then you got like 1 second, but then you can break it into like, you know, milliseconds. You keep like, you know, and archaeologists, right? They're like digging and digging, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna find the truth, and you dig and you dig and you dig and you dig, and I'm like, you know what would happen, right? And I'm going to use a microscope as an example. What would happen? This is like so freaky, right? What would happen if you got a microscope so good that you zoomed in so far into that cell body that you actually zoomed in to the back of your head looking through a microscope, and you were like, oh my God, it's us. Oh my God, it's me. Like, what would science do then? If you zoomed in so far that you found yourself, or you zoomed in so far, or you looked so far out that you actually found your own self? Whoa! Can you imagine that moment in science? Can you imagine that moment in science? You would just be like the scientists in that moment would be like it would take your breath away. Like in that immediate moment, all of science, the whole world would just be like, whoa. Do we share this? Do we share this with the public? What do we do now? Like, we zoomed in so far that we found our own self. We look so far out into space that we found our own self. Our perception. Underwhelming, overwhelming. Like, what if that was the truth all along? Was just the ability to look out, the ability to look in. But what if we did it so far, we're searching so far, so bad, looking for the biggest truth ever, the smallest truth ever, the whatever the truth, and we just zoomed into ourselves and we were like, whoa! Now what do we do? Now what do we share? Now what do we look for? Now what? It was like dimension after dimension. It was the way it looked. It was the way it was perceived. And then we found ourselves, and then we're like, well, oh my God. Is that the ticket? Is that the truth? Is that it? Perception? The ability to be able to look at it from different dimensions and different sizes and different distances and whatever that even means. To find ourselves in this moment like, oh my gosh. It's us. Whoa, right? Like, whoa. That would be a crazy, wild moment in history. In history. In the future? Right now? In the present moment? Perception. You're here looking there and looking there. And you're like, whoa, but I'm still here. I don't know. It's just an idea. Okay, I accept the possibility that I could be totally incorrect, but I'm looking at this, and I keep focusing on these things, and I'm like, well, what if, right? What if? What if that's it? Maybe that's why the ancients had so much technology and understanding, is because they were like, oh, well, yeah, it's all the same thing, so. Maybe. Okay, so that's definitely something to think about. I just had to share that. Okay, that's all I have right now. Thanks for watching.